Russia's economy is on the brink of disaster, with their central bank currently scrambling to avoid that disaster as its currency's value continues to crash, with their ruble yesterday briefly breaking 100 to the US dollar, marking its worst performance since the war in Ukraine began, which at that time it had crashed briefly before skyrocketing again on the back of oil and gas sales despite massive sanctions. However, over the past few months, its value has been steadily dropping by over 25% due to fuel prices slumping and restrictions on sending money abroad loosening, which has led to people dumping their rubles when they can. And so when you add all those things together, it means that the ruble is at serious risk of really bad inflation. And for the central bank, that 100 to the $1 mark seems to have been a red line as it quickly moved to try and correct the problem, spiking interest rates from 8.5% to 12.5%, which that alone would be a dramatic change. But what's even crazier is that 8.5% rate was set just last month, with that helping increase the currency's value against the dollar, and the central bank has said that they're ready to push another hike if needed. But also what's especially interesting with the situation is it's one of the few times that we've actually seen open criticism between branches of their government. For example, in an op-ed, Putin's economic advisor blamed the central bank for the situation, saying, "The source of the weakening of the ruble and the acceleration of inflation is soft monetary policy." Now, with all that said, does this mean that Russia's on the verge of collapse? Probably not, with Russian officials still thinking that the country will run a budget surplus in the third quarter and meet its 2% GDP growth target. However, it's important to remember that most of that is still being propped up by dwindling oil and gas prices. But for everyday Russians, this is having an effect of making everything more expensive. I mean, your money devaluing 25% across just a few months, that's tough. But as far as what this means for the long term in Russia, we're gonna have to wait to see because there are a number of variables at play.